the forest. All the trees jubilated and said, there is nothing that is going to happen to us, simply because the hand of the axe is part of us. But it was not until the trees in the forest started feeling the sharpness and also the cuts of the axe that they had to understand that actually betrayal comes from within. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have various betrayals. You know, for some of us that have been perennial fees defaulters, we are always being sent back at home, and some of our own relatives, some of our neighbors start blaming our parents why they brought us to such expensive schools that they cannot afford the school fees. And these are battles we keep on fighting. But our parents have made sure that we finish and reach up to this day that we are going to do our examination. A big hand to applaud their parents. Mama, thank you very much. Our parents, thank you very much for being perseverant, persistent, and also not giving up with us. Gentlemen, let's add them another hand clap. In the same vein, therefore, I would like to appreciate the school administration. We have gone through a lot with the administration. But we thank you for everything you have done for us, for all the facilitations we have had, and we promise you that we are going to finish well. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we as the flag bearers of Kiira College Butiki have gone through a lot. You want to understand what we have gone through? You want to understand our dear parents? Okay. You know, our dear parents, one thing I would like to inform you, that we as your sons are of a different species from the daughters you have. It is simply because we hide a lot more than we show. Ladies and gentlemen, we as the flag bearers have fought a lot of battles. You know, in most cases when you see us walk with a smile, showing a brave face to the world and to you as well, it does not simply mean that everything is fine. For a matter of fact, behind those smiles are battles we are fighting in silence that no one can see. Beneath are stories we are not sharing. I mean, we all have that one chapter of life that we cannot speak about. We hide a lot more than we show. Ladies and gentlemen, we have fought battles of staying hungry day in, day out, after calling home for pocket money and they ask us whether they no longer cook at school. These are battles we are fighting. Gentlemen, am I lying? These are serious battles. Ladies and gentlemen, after understanding that the school administration had become the hunter and it hunted most of our comrades down, we are still fighting battles of crying and mourning day in, day out, after seeing our comrades that had fallen and have not been able to finish this race with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we keep on fighting battles of our own academic failures. At some point, this time around, I think it was last week, our mock results were pinned at the school notes board. But it was some sort of a shame that even some of our brothers in senior 5, when they saw the performance of mathematics, a comrade came and asked me that, HP, is it possible to remove mathematics from my combination? The boy asked me that, is it possible for me to offer biology, chemistry, and history? Simply because he wanted to run away from mathematics. But these are battles we keep on fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, some of us, we know where we come from, and we are poor at home. We are fighting battles to make sure that we break the chains of poverty that we have at home. Therefore, we lie awake every night, burning the midnight candle to make sure that everything gets on well. You know, these battles, it's like they have become scars that make us lie awake every night, wondering of how close we are to success, seeing ourselves chase the finish line that keeps on moving. These have become scars that we wake up with every morning. Scars attained from the betrayals of yesterday, moments and failures we cannot forget. But and yet, we still keep moving on with them, knowing that there will be a day that they will hurt less. But be rest assured, Kiira College Butiki has taught us not to handle issues as mere boys, but just as men. Therefore, I would like to encourage everyone here that we as the flag bearers, we are so strong because we believe that we are born strong and for a purpose. Instead, we are not letting those battles define us now. We are making them fuel our determination to success. And trust me, we shall make it. Ladies and gentlemen, you strongly believe the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands at times of comfort and convenience, but rather where he stands at times of controversy and challenges. We have gone through a lot, and I believe we shall make it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude my speech, I'm a Christian. I read the Bible. You know, when Jesus Christ was hanging on the cross, before he breathed his last breath, he mentioned three words that shall forever reverberate throughout the sound waves of history. He said, "It is finished." If you had hands, you would clap. But since you don't have, let me continue. Ladies and gentlemen, after Jesus had proclaimed these three words and hanged his head, it was not just a sign of his death, but it was a cry of victory. When Jesus spoke these three words and hanged his head, the earth began to shake. The stones began to split. The veil of the temple was torn into two, giving us access into the family of God due to his finished works on the cross. Ladies and gentlemen, there is always power in finishing. Today, as flag bearers, I believe we have reached at the end of our race, some of us in high school. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have fought a lot and we have finished very well. Therefore, bearing a lot of confidence like that of a night dancer, though I'm not one, I would like to inform you that the senior 4 flag bearers are not just the cohorts of the new curriculum, but they are the pioneers of success. Ladies and gentlemen, with the same confidence like that of a night dancer, still I'm not one. I would like to inform you that the senior 6 flag bearers, the way you see them, they are not just the last borns of the old curriculum, but they are the first borns of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the things that have kept us moving as the flag bearers, and therefore, this should send a strong message to our brothers as we are living, that no matter the things you have gone through, you have to always keep pushing, because you should not let all those battles define you. You know, one thing I want to leave you with as I conclude. One thing I want to leave with us all as I conclude, my young brothers, the candidates as well, when we live here, and everybody. In life, always keep pushing. If you see that you cannot be the road, at least be a trail. If you see that you cannot be the sun, be a moon. If you believe that you cannot be a moon, then be a star. For it is not by size or by mass that you win or lose, but it is through setting out to do the best in whatsoever thing we do. In conclusion, therefore, if you cannot fly, you run. If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot walk, you crawl. But by all means, we must keep moving. Thank you very much. May God supplicate you with blessing.